Oye, puedes
Vale,
ver
ya veo
si...
bien las puertas.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door.
Ya,
on
pero
his
puedes
left.
ver
This
primero
was
si mi
not the
directo
correct
está
way to the
lagueado
meeting
o no,
room,
joder.
and
Sí,
Stanley
siempre
knew
lo
it
estará.
perfectly well.
Uno
Perhaps he
necesita
wanted to
conexión
stop
por
by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Mira, tío, he configurado algunas cosas. Es que antes hice el directo sin
Truly a room
configuración.
worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished,
Pero
here
se
you
ve
sit looking
lagueado,
at
o
these
sea,
chairs
¿está
and some
lagueado o no,
paintings.
tío? Porque se supone
Really
que yo
worth
lo
it.
puse a 720p max.
At this point,
720p
Stanley's
está bien.
obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality.
Tío,
It's possible
Oye.
that this is why everyone left.
¿Qué?
¿quieres un... Déjalo, tío. Es que, tío, ¿tanto te cuesta?
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue. But when a long time had passed and there was no more,
O sea,
he
¿tanto te
decided
cuesta
that the
mirar el
game was
maldito
trying to
texto?
send him a message.
Joder, tío.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Vale, voy a hacer el mismo final de antes.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oye, ¿cuándo vas a ver si el directo va a la...
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Oh, alguien está viendo mi
There's
directo de
someone you've
XD.
been neglecting,
¿Quién será?
Stanley. Someone you've
Vale.
forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every
Vale,
decision
hago,
by
¿no?
yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Ah,
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back
Oye,
into
¿va al lago,
your
no?
life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to...
Oye.
Oh, no, you can't... Did you just unplug the phone?
Joder, tío, ¿qué me
Espera,
estás
espera,
hablando?
espera.
Choice. How
Estoy
did you do
escuchando la
that?
historia.
You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Practice.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Vale.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please. Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality. Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Sí.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
LOL.
¿Qué ha pasado?
LOL, me he cargado el juego entero, jaja.
Vale.
A ver.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child.
Es un niño, LOL.
My story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
Estoy tratando de hacer y reiniciar el juego.
Just behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just
Ojo que le
follow
hago
my lead and
perfecto.
you'll be
Ojo,
fine.
toma perfecto.
All right.
Hijo de puta.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Just behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Bloqueó la puerta. No.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Me han bloqueado.
¿Quién
Todo,
te ha
todas las salidas.
bloqueado?
No, que el juego va cambiando en plan cosas pequeñas en plan. Me ha bloqueado un montón de sitios.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover
Es un
not
juego
an
de
indication
pensar.
of any human life.
No.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the
clearly into
door
the
with a
receiver.
voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's
Night Shark
computer just last week.
115.
Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Night Shark 155.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark.
Night Shark
He
115.
spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Night Shark 115. Juego no tiene reconocimiento de voz, creo.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You
Joder.
didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak
Ah,
the
quieren
code
que te-
into the
que digas eso,
receiver. Otherwise,
Sí,
I
sí, sí,
can't
sí.
get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Déjamelo decirlo a mí. ¿Qué tenías que decir?
Night Shark 115.
Okay, fine. You're
Nice
not going to
shot.
do
Pero
it.
no se
But you
puede,
know
no se
what?
puede.
It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to
Seriously.
see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right.
fuck?
You could have done whatever the hell
Yeah.
you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward.
Mm. Oh, el final real.
Two open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Stanley.
Stanley? Hello? Are you...
Joder.
Is everything okay?
Ese final es
Stanley,
triste.
please. I
Ya
need you
ves.
to make a choice.
El fin.
I need you to
Ya
walk
saben los
through the
créditos de
door.
verdad.
Are you listening to me? Can you hear me?
Bueno, vas a ver mi directo ahora.
Is
¿Quieres?
everything all right?
Me he pasado el
Stanley,
juego.
this is important.
Sí,
Las
sorry.
cosas menos de una.
Bueno, es que hay muchos finales, en plan. Pues la cosa es verlos todos, pero he hecho el final que es el final verdadero, en el que tienes que hacer que el narrador se dé cuenta que eres una persona de verdad y no Stanley.
This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it.
Bueno, vas a ver mi directo ahora.
You hear me?
Espera.
Are you there?
Oh, mira.
Are you listening to this?
¿Eres tú el que ha
Are you
entrado
there?
en mi...
Será, también podrá seguir Iván.
It's okay, I can wait.
Sí, Iván, no, vale.
Time to decide.
The Stanley Parable uses
Sure,
Havoc
choice is
physics.
correct. That is the best choice.
That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Lo único que no sé.
Stalin se queda ahí.
¿Qué?
The end is never, the end is never. The end is never, the end is never. El fin nunca hay fin.
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home
Oh,
from
se ha
work today.
salido, hijo de...
We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans,
Se
whichever
ha
ones you
salido del
like.
puto directo,
I'll
qué
give you a
cabrón.
call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
Nice.
Toma. Tomar. Bate de base.
Espera, no hay narrador esta vez. Sí, me ha reiniciado, pero ese no hay narrador.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Tío,
he entered the
tío,
door. This was not the
¿cuándo vas a
correct way
ver
to the meeting room,
mi
and
directo,
Stanley
Bobby?
knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to
Está
admire it.
night. Vale.
Wow.
Cabrón,
Yes.
¿por qué me estás
This
ignorando?
room.
Espera que sí.
But
Vale.
eager to get
¿Qué
back to
dijiste?
business,
Es que
Stanley
no
took
te
the
puedo escuchar a
first
ti
open
y
door
al
to his
narrador.
left.
Ah, vale. Que dije que si ya
Stanley
viste
was
si
so
mi
bad
directo
at
va
following
lagueado o no.
directions, it's
Sí, sigue el
incredible it wasn't
No sé, en
5
plan.
years ago.
Tiene que estar súper lagueado porque estás por wifi.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've
Ya, pero
gotten
hice
off on the
una
wrong
configuración
foot
de
here.
acuerdo al
I'm not
Ya,
sure maybe
a ver.
or not. I realize that investing your trust in
Claro,
someone else
es que
is
hay alguien que está
difficult,
viendo,
but
pero
the
es que no
fact
sé
is
quién.
that the story has been about nothing
Está
but
lagueando.
you all
Bueno,
this
se ve mal,
time.
pero al menos no se la
There's
vea.
someone you've been
No se la vea.
neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten
Ya,
about.
bueno, es que lo puse a
Please,
esta vez lo puse a
stop trying to
720p.
make every decision by yourself.
Vaya,
I'm
usted.
not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Coger.
This is it, Stanley.
Madre mía, aprende
Your
inglés con
chance to
Stanley.
redeem yourself. To put your work
Va a coger el
aside.
teléfono esta vez.
To
A ver
let
qué
her
pasa.
back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley.
A ver. Ay, se lo vi.
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
Stanley.
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now,
Mira, me
I
están
want you
viendo
to
dos
come in
personas
and tell
ahora.
me
Eres tú
all about...
también.
LOL.
Gotcha.
Espera,
Oh,
espera.
come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a
Cabrón.
point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
LOL. Buenos días, teclado. No, no quiero pulsar. Presione O en su teclado. 0.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands
Sí, he
nothing
pulsado el
of
0 en
him,
vez de la O.
and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Presione 8. Dice que presione 8. No voy a presionar 8, no quiero. Me obligan a pulsar 8, Lo voy a hacer, no sé. No, no hay otra cosa, no pasa nada si no pulso la 8. Toma, pulso en el keypad. Vale.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
R de restart, no. No tengo otra cosa que hacer.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands.
You
It
guy.
was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Presioné U para mirar TV. A ver. U para mirar TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Presioné 9 para pasar tiempo con los muchachos.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Pero como todo.
XD.
Presioné
Oye,
P para
pero,
preparar la cena. P.
As he wandered
pero,
through this
se escucha el
fantasy
juego, ¿no?
world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations.
Dennis,
Down one path
Yeah.
lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And
Sorry.
down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Lo llamo Stanley Parable. Para contar a los niños. No, no quiero. Cada vez que pulso una tecla, esto se va convirtiendo en mi. En el esto. En la oficina.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and
Cada
then
que pulso la
again,
tecla se
and
convierte
again,
más en
over and
la
over,
oficina.
wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Presioné L para decir las cosas que la ama.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Presioné E para ir a dormir.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here,
Denny.
watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Vale, no lo hagas.
joder, tío. Oye, ¿por cuánto tiempo va a hablar el puto narrador de mierda? Dennis,
Espera. No, ya.
joder.
A ver qué pasa. ¿Qué quieres decirme ahora? Dímelo. Tienes tiempo.
Te quería preguntar si el juego se escuchaba bien
Pues sí.
en el directo. Vale.
Sí. No tienes que hacer nada más. En plan, la Xbox es automática.
Vale.
En cuanto a directos.
Eso es bueno. No, es que mira, estaba la configuración de Twitch,
No.
lo puse a 720p y hay algunas otras configuraciones y ya está. Y ahora no me va lag, así que de puta.
Presioné para ver
Igual,
el trabajo
la
por
mala-
mañana. No pasa el tiempo,
Hola. Hostia, este personaje está todo guapo, No me acordaba.
No. Escribo no en el teclado. No. No.
F.
Vale, va a dar a la E, tío.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Pero por favor, presione C para cuestionar nada. What the fuck.
I suppose I can't. Not in the
Supongo
way
que
I
no
wanted
puedo,
to.
no es la forma en que quiero
I
que lo
don't
haga.
make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose. The same as Stanley. Not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this
el
to
juego
him.
es una-
I'm compelled
es
to.
una follada
I
de mente.
must. Perhaps. Well, maybe this time he'll
Yeah.
see. Maybe
Lord.
this time.
Restart.
Try it again.
Por favor,
And
muera,
Stanley pushed a
lol.
button. and I tried again. And
Y
still
lo intenté de nuevo, está en la impresión, por favor, lo intenté de nuevo, está en la impresión. LOL. Por favor, muera.
Ay, por favor, muérete ya, por favor.
Muérete. No, es que la única forma de reiniciar el juego es muriendo. Pero sí.
Ah.
Vale, otra vez de restart.
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Porque este juego le gusta a mi madre, no sé.
Puede que-
What? Ah, vale. What? No hay sala de decisiones. La que es.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
A ver a quién nos...
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business,
Yeah,
Stanley
that's
took the first open door on his left.
Vale, en mi caso.
And so he
No, mierda.
detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
Puedo ir
Coming
arriba
to
o
a
abajo, pero
staircase,
abajo es
Stanley
un
walked
bucle.
upstairs to his boss's
Lo
office.
hice antes. A ver. Vamos a ver. ¿Qué hace
Staring
el-
into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from
La
him.
contraseña.
And so the boss had assigned it an
Dos,
extra
ocho,
secret
cuatro,
PIN
cinco.
number. 2. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety
Ese
isn't
tipo de
healthy,
ansiedad no es
so he
saludable, así que se
relaxed
relajó por
for a few
momentos con
moments
algo de rajas
with some
de
calming New
güey.
Age music.
Joder.
Joder. Mira, tienes que mirar mi directo, tío, te lleves la hostia. Este juego es la hostia. Aunque no
Ya,
lo
pero
mires
yo estoy
ahora,
metiendo
míralo más tarde.
Sí, sí, lo
Feeling
miraré más
soothed
tarde.
and
seguro.
rejuvenated, Stanley calmly
Stanley,
walked forward into the opened
Y si no lo
passageway.
miro, seguramente cuando tenga PC lo jugaré. O sea, lo tengo obtenido.
Vale. A ver, voy a coger el esto. No loading. En plan, yo creo que lo podría correr hasta el ordenador de tu padre, el juego no es nada pesado.
Descending deeper into the building,
A ver,
Stanley realized he felt a
En
bit
plan, es un
peculiar.
gigabyte.
Ya, pero es que mi
un
padre
gigabyte.
no me va a dar
Stirring
su
of
ordenador.
emotion in his
Ya, pero
chest,
mi
as though
padre
he
no me va a
felt
dar.
more
Entonces,
free to think for
era el
himself,
tío más libre
to
para empezar
question the
para
nature
cuestionar
of
las
his
reglas
job.
de trabajo.
Why did he feel this now, when for
Sentía eso,
years
¿verdad?
it had
Cuando
never
por años
occurred
nunca
to
le
him?
había ocurrido.
This question would
Esa
not
pregunta
go
no puede
unanswered
ser.
for long.
Antes terminé el juego.
Stanley
como-
walked straight ahead
en plan,
through the large
dije-
door that
hice todo lo que
read
dijo
Mind Control
el
Facility.
narrador. Yo tuve el final falso, ahora voy a escaparme.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Me encontré su violenta muerte.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Pues sí, a mi muerte. A ver, escape.
Tomar por...
What?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
Mierda, Alex dejó de ver mi directo. F por...
Voy a morir. Ah, no.
Farewell, Stanley,
Ahí
cried the
Stanley, famoso
narrator,
narrador.
as Stanley was led
Mientras Stanley
helplessly
era
into the
llevado con la
enormous
potencia
metal
hacia las
jaws.
enormes mandíbulas
In a
centrales.
single visceral
En un sentido
instant,
visceral instante,
Stanley was
fue destruido en
obliterated
cuanto la
as the
máquina
machine
aplastó cada
crushed
hueso de su
every
cuerpo,
bone in
matándolo
his body,
instantáneamente.
killing him instantly.
Me han dejado salir. Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
What? El otro final verdadero.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now?
Ah, sí,
Do you see
mi
that
padre no me
Stanley
va a
was
dar, no me va a
already
dar
dead from the moment he hit
su
start?
laptop para jugar videojuegos. Él está en contra de los videojuegos.
LOL. Fumada. Button sound.
Ya ves.
Dejan probar todo lo que viene el juego. Office Computers. Ahí había un tío jugando al esto. Employee Database. Apagarlo, apagar. Filling cabinet.
Sí, tante.
The two doors. Opens the door, very fast. Stand for the scene. Once the door is created, the rest of the game, managing as attention of it and exploration of the contradiction of hostia.
Iván,
Stanley's
para
computer.
ti. Iván,
Office
para
layer.
Iván, para ti. Iván, para mí.
Te explican cómo, en realidad te explican cómo se hizo el juego. Y los créditos están aquí. Es un museo de todo el juego. Maintenance room. Que pone Freedom Ending. Tienes que ver en si te existes en beta. Exit. No quiero salir. A ver. Quiero verlo todo. Boss Office. Kings from the Open on the Boss Office. Espera, enseñan como lo de Santiago. Office Clock. Mind Control Facility. Underground. Narration Outtakes. Kevin bringing the voice of narrator recorded dialogue of the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. Hostia.
Stanley walked through the green door.
The green door. La voz del narrador. Vale, pues ya lo he visto todo.
Tío, me da mucha cosa, tío. Fatalities en las que le revienta la mandíbula, tío. Me da mucha...
Monitor room elevator. Could go up or down with freedom above and down below. Pero cuando is when players find it too difficult to remember what is up and what is goes down. And players are doing things together instead.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Oye, Dennis, ¿te sabes algún personaje del Mortal Kombat 11?
He apagado el juego.
Can you see? Can you see
Oye,
how much they need one another?
Calla.
No,
Vale,
perhaps
rápido.
not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now, and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let...
Vale. Regresar al menú. Bravo. Juegazo. Aunque no he hecho todos los
Vale,
finales.
Vale, Denis, ¿te sabes algún personaje del Mortal Kombat? ¿Sí o no?
No.
Joder, entra a mi directo y elige un personaje por mí,
Control.
es que no sé cuál es.
Vale.